Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I thought, because it's right now, so we're gonna look at Jaiden Animation's video kind of about the whole LGBTQ. I think it works. Mic exploded during recording. Nice. But yeah, I think this would fit into the month. So we're just gonna get started. Alright, let's just go. Alright? I'm not gonna say anything.
Okay, before you even say anything, let's lay out some ground rules. This is probably gonna be the most open I'll ever get about my personal life. I know I've shared tidbits of myself and life through little stories, but when it comes to personal stuff, I'm very private. Especially within the past few years. I'm gonna be talking in very general surface level terms because specific personal details are for me to know, and in the nicest way possible, none of your business. Basically, this is something I want to talk about, share, and bring a spotlight to. But at the same time, you get the Cliff Notes version. So no trying to assume or guess anything beyond what I'm sharing within this video. At the end of the day, we're all just strangers refusing to listen to the stranger danger rule. Alright, formalities aside, let's get into it. I've come to realize that I'm aro-ace, which stands for aromantic asexual. And I know what you're thinking. That's not gay. What the hell is that? And you know what? That is completely fair, because I didn't know what that was either. Aromantic and asexual are two different things, and I'm gonna break them down to you separately, starting with aromantic, because no one really knows what that one is. And also, it's my personal favorite. Someone who's aromantic is defined as a person who feels very little to no romantic attraction to anyone at all. So, like, they might not develop crushes on people or feel the need to be in a romantic relationship with anyone. Very general terms, but hopefully you kind of get the gist. If not, here's a little story example from me. Growing up, I never developed crushes on anyone. I remember when I was in 5th grade, kids were talking about their crushes left.
For me, that was like 3rd grade. That's not... that's insane, bro.
Then right.
Why do you feel like children these days talk about taxes? Why do I feel like that's a thing? Probably is.
It was starting to feel like something I had to experience too, just because I thought that's just what happens. Don't make fun of 9-year-old me, I was a sheep. Anyway, I decided I needed to have a crush because that's just what happens to people. And I very robotically chose this random kid in the class who we can call Pikachu. That's not his name. He didn't mean...
Wait, so his name isn't Pikachu? Huh? That's crazy. Yo, I just realized my door is open. Wait. Alright, I'm back. Back again.
Mean anything to me, and I didn't do anything about this crush. Like, I didn't tell anyone or anything. It was just a headcanon thing for me to feel up to speed and like I was hitting my normal human emotions quota. But it's funny, because on Valentine's Day, you know how in elementary school everyone would bring cheesy Walmart Valentine...
Wait. Is 5th grade elementary school? I don't even know.
Cards for everyone in the class, and then you'd have a box full of candy and hollow emotions from everyone.
True.
Well, my school did that. When I went through my box, I pulled out Pikachu's Valentine and thought to myself, someone who has a crush on someone would keep this.
You definitely should eat it.
I think. So I put Pikachu's copy-paste Batman Valentine in my drawer and promptly forgot about it because it meant nothing to me, but hey, that's just what I thought I was supposed to do. Man, I'm so good at this. Then like a year or so later, when my mom was going through my room, she pulled out the card and was like, why do you have this? And I was like, honestly, I have no idea.
The truth, and that is insane. Like, honestly, I don't even know at this point. Like, I don't know.
I entered junior high and thought to myself, alright, this is the time where people start developing crushes and then do something about it. Like get into relationships or something. So I was preparing to be
You're not gonna go on a date in elementary school. Like, that's not gonna happen. Because you can't pay for food.
On the first day of school, I scoped out the room to see if there was anyone that I thought looked like someone I could develop a crush on. And this was when classes started being divided up into periods, so there were like 6 batches of people.
Yo, I don't even think I'm even gonna get that one day, like periods.
I sifted through, but no one caught my eye, and I thought, man, unlucky. Went through the
sucks to suck.
The whole school year. Next year rolled around, classes changed. I did the same potential crush scoping again, and the same thing happened. I wasn't drawn to anyone at all. Man, unlucky again. Every year I thought something would change, especially going into high school when people started actually hitting puberty and were getting conventionally attractive. But my entire school life, grades kindergarten to senior year, which I'm pretty sure is like 13 years, I wasn't interested in a single person throughout any of it. And what's funny was I was thinking, man, what's the deal? Why is no one attractive? And I went to a big high school. There were like 3,500 students.
Damn, bro.
Surely I am not the outlier in this formula.
Yeah.
Why are none of you attractive? By the time I was going to college, I really felt like I had to find someone. It felt like I was falling behind the curve, or if I was going to find someone, it was going to have to happen now. I made a lot of new friends, and that's when I thought I developed my first genuine crush. Long story short, in hindsight, no, it wasn't a crush, and I was just wrong.
Hype electric.
I just met someone who I thought was cool and funny and had a really strong desire to be close to them. But looking back, knowing what I do now, it wasn't in a romantic way. I realized I can get very excited and tunnel vision on people I think are cool or interesting, and kind of obsess over getting to know them or just want to spend a lot of time with them. But whenever I got into those tunnel vision moments, if I sat down and asked myself if I actually wanted to be in a relationship with them and hold hands or cuddle or kiss, the answer was not really. But if they wanted to, I could go along with it, which I do not think is right. In my very old flirting video, which I refuse to rewatch, I think at one point in it I said something along the lines of, if you're interested in someone but they just want to be friends, I don't understand why some people can't deal with that. And that was primarily because I didn't realize there was an emotional difference between a crush or falling in love and just being really good.
What? How? What the hell?
Friends with someone. So, oops, sorry for the bad take, I think. I really just thought having a crush on someone was wanting to be their #1 best friend.
Yeah, boy.
Look, I said don't make fun of me. To me, it used to feel like if I was wanting to become friends with someone to that high of a degree, that would be the next step or justify why I wanted to put this much time, effort, and energy into one person. And it didn't feel right or even fair going through all of this with someone and then tell them they're just a friend. I don't know.
You are just a friend.
Like it made sense.
Hello, sir. You are just a friend. Get the hell out of my inbox, please.
Even though I really didn't technically see them in a romantic way. I just didn't understand what was going on really, or that there was supposed to be real emotions instead of a logical understanding of steps. And the fact that I was under the assumption that I was supposed to be interested in people in a romantic way didn't help with anything. I always preferred to say good friends.
By the way, you said little stories. Stories like 4 minutes, probably 5 minutes.
Never felt like I could have that, and I worried that if I said no, that we would just start drifting apart, which I obviously didn't want either. It's been a very long journey discovering this about myself.
I guess we're not in the story anymore.
Everything I'm saying has all been extremely subconscious and not understood or defined for many years. I even used to think I was bi or pan for the longest time because I would think to myself, well, bi is being interested in both genders. Yeah. I don't really care for either, but 0 is equal to 0, so I guess I'm bi or pan. I got math involved. If I knew what aromanticism was when I was growing up, things would have been a lot less complicated for me a lot sooner. I think it's mainly because people don't really talk about it or even know what it is or that it's real. Romance and love is the #1 most talked about topic on the planet. Everything I've been taught or learned through society is that love and romance is everywhere. Everyone feels it, and it's gonna happen to you.
You watch too many high school Disney movies, Jaiden. What the heck?
Just a funny little note, there was a point where I was listening to some generic romance song on the radio. You know, like all of them. And I just suddenly...
You listen to Superman? That's a great song.
I thought to myself,
I love that one.
Do people actually feel these things?
Guys, okay, pet peeve. Why does it say HD, but the HD looks 12p, bro?
Towards each other. Like all these mushy lyrics are real emotions. They're not joking. And that's when I started feeling like something was different.
Wait, you're serious?
I approached romance under the blanket term thought of, sure, why not? And didn't recognize.
Sure, why not? I don't know.
Recognize it was actually a feeling, which might sound stupid, but look, I don't
It does.
know. no one presented me with any other options. I did a lot of rationalizing. If someone ever expressed romantic interest in me, I would mentally make a kind of
You got like 5 dates in your life. You mentioned that in one of your videos.
logical list of their pros and cons, and the pros and cons of what a relationship would look like with them based on what
I just imagine that you're just like thinking, and it's like, why are you thinking so much?
I knew about them as a person.
Just say
I didn't
yes.
realize there was supposed to be an extra, like, excited feeling, or the fact that you're not supposed to think about it as if it were a business exchange. I
Going to a dark alleyway to do that.
understand compatibility is a huge important variable when it comes to sharing a relationship with someone, but at the end of the day, it's still apparently still a very emotionally driven thing. And I literally had
Oh my god, why is there? Oh my god, that's no, that's actually no. Why is what? What the heck is wrong? Okay, I'm not drinking that.
to make that discovery and teach it to myself. Now, I'm gonna talk about being asexual very briefly, and I'm gonna preface it with,
Yeah.
let's all just be mature about this, alright?
Let's get
We're all
into it.
pretending to be adults here. I've got my
Nope. There's literally goddamn dust in my water. That's actually disgusting. Oh my god, bro.
eye on some of you. Behave. Okay, this is definitely treading into uncomfortable
Behave?
personal boundary territory for me, but yeah, I do want to share
Yeah.
that I'm asexual too, which is defined as someone who feels little to no intimate attraction to anyone.
Yeah.
Look, I know we said we're all adults, but I'm still gonna dance around the vocabulary, alright? Yes, there's a difference between romantic and intimate attraction. Little side note, I will
I
say
don't
you can
care.
experience romantic attraction to someone but no intimate attraction. Or you can experience intimate attraction but no romantic attraction. You can be one and not the other. It's not
I don't like that emoji.
necessarily a package deal. Most people feel both, and I do not feel either. Anyway,
I'm gonna order it from Amazon. What do you want?
never been magnetically attracted to the look or shape of a single person in my entire life, and
You wanna play Smash Bros? Don't take that out of context, by the way.
did not realize it was a real thing until
Wait, are you
very
actually gonna
recently.
play?
I'm able to
Oh, Mario
identify
Kart.
when someone looks conventional.
Dude, I need to play Mario Kart. Yo, I love that game, bro. That's such an amazing game. It's a Raichu. How is that? What is that Pokemon? I know it's the evolution of Pikachu, but
attractive.
Raichu. I mean,
By textbook definition, but I never realized people are genuinely
8.
drawn to people they think are attractive. I didn't know that people could just see someone and be like, wow, they're gorgeous. I would
honestly, that's weird. If you see somebody have a crush on that, that's weird. You're weird. You didn't know anything about that person.
love to get to know that person, or maybe go on a date with them, or whatever else you people do. I
You
didn't think
people.
it was real. I thought people were exaggerating or something.
How many high school Disney movies did you watch in your time, Jaiden?
I don't know.
Or maybe also too much anime, but it's not that bad.
I also couldn't believe that some
Hi.
people feel that with multiple people.
Okay, that's
or
weird.
like celebrities.
That's
which
even
sounds
weirder.
absolutely exhausting. It ties back to when I was
that's
in
so
school,
weird.
like looking around
Just look at that water placement.
people to like. It makes sense now that no one caught my eye because that doesn't happen to me. I was just wasting my time for 13 years. I
Wow.
feel like such a fool. Now, there's an easy assumption to make about asexual people and that they all have zero interest in being intimate with anyone at all, which actually isn't true. Some of them are genuinely turned off by it, and some aren't. Some reasons would be that they just don't mind
What?
it, or they want to make their partner happy, or
Okay, makes
enjoy the emotional closeness of it. There's a million different reasons and a million different people. Am I sharing what kind of a people I am? Nope.
You already told us that like 3 minutes ago that you want to make like if that you literally said. I mean, I can go along with it, but yeah, if you can go along with it. So you literally said it. But you're not hiding it. What the heck is going on? What's your hair? What? That's a good frame.
And you don't know me personally enough in the slightest
You just said it 3 minutes ago.
to be able to try and parasocial.
Guys, I was just quickly doing something, and then I saw notifications, and I got a comment. Wait, from this guy who was really nice to me, actually. Like, this guy literally said, lovely commentary. I think you're doing great. Generally, the only thing that could be improved is your mic, because it makes your voice sound a bit muffled. But I understand if you don't have any options. But in terms of actual content and presentation, your videos is perfect. I love your energy. Dude, this guy's literally so nice. I'm gonna pin this guy. Yo, you are. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thanks, bro. Like, this is the kind of, like, I'm actually, this is like really touching me, bro. Like, this is so nice. I love when people are nice like that. But okay, let's get back into the video. Sorry, I got a little bit emotional there.
Actually analyze where I stand on that spectrum. I'm just here to say I am this. We are moving on. When I stumbled onto the term Aro Ace and started realizing I fall into that category, it helped me feel much more confident and sure of myself. I've read a lot about how people say they felt broken or that something was wrong with them. But honestly, I was the complete opposite. Coming from my very biased perspective, I think Aro Ace is one of, if not the coolest and most confident orientations out there. Not needing a single gram of romantic or intimate validation from anyone is so cool. All you need is yourself to be happy, maybe friends and family too, and birds. The more I came to terms with the fact I'm Aro Ace, the more empowered and capable I felt. But at the same time, I was also starting to feel more alone and isolated. As cool and amazing and unique and awesome as I think it is, it can be really hard for other people to relate to.
Maybe I will there. You never know.
Or even understand everyone else and their orientation.
Let's see. Guys, I need you guys to guess if I'm here. Or can you find me?
Are able to bond and relate to the love and romance aspects, and we're over here like, we don't do that. I don't even know if I'm explaining it very well. It kind of does go against everything everyone's ever been taught about anything. Romance is taught to be a basic assumed emotion, which I do think is a bit misleading. A common argument used against the Aro Ace orientation is that romance and intimacy is what makes someone human. But I mean, I don't know, lots of birds mate for life, which is a better ratio than people, and all animals get frisky. You know, that's just how they became not extinct. It's not an exclusive to humans thing. If I were to guess, I would assume the thing that makes someone human is basic empathy. Like, I'm not an emotionalist monster. I can still love people. I love my family and my pets, just platonically, and I would hope that you're the same.
Yeah, freaking weirdos.
I just don't experience romantic love, which I don't know. I don't think that's harming anyone. Definitely not me. I'm having the time of my life.
Yes, I knew the Smash Bros was coming.
You need to be in a relationship to be happy. And if you don't want to be just on your own, I think there's many types of people in relationships that push the boundaries of what a conventional relationship looks like. Telling someone that they need to be in a romantic relationship to be happy and fulfilled is weird. And then when that person says they're not happy, they're told relationships take a lot of work and that's just how it goes. And that's also weird. I don't know. I also think it's weird that once someone reaches a certain age, people inherently start thinking it's sad they're not in a romantic relationship, or assume they're lonely and sad. No one thinks a child is sad and lonely just because they're not in a long-term relationship. I don't know. I don't get it. And I also think I'm rambling. At the end of the day, it's all very complicated to talk about these things, especially because I don't know the feelings I'm supposed to be feeling, let alone talk about. I just know for me, the terms aromantic and asexual are able to articulate things I was subconsciously feeling and thinking before I even realized I was feeling and thinking them. I don't plan on talking about this very much, if at all, ever again. I just want to play my silly little video games, maybe tell a story here or there. But I wanted to bring the orientations to the surface and try to get more representation.
You're getting abducted.
Because I thought if I could help more people become more aware of this, then that would be awesome. I was confused as hell for a while and could have used something like this. It's a real thing. You don't have to feel any sort of romance or whatever to be considered a real person. Personally, I think it's really cool and badass. And don't be afraid to look more into aromanticism or asexualism if any of what I said in this video resonated with you to any degree. Like I said, this is all very surface level stuff. They're both much larger spectrums than you'd think, and maybe you fall under some umbrella category with them. I don't know. Or not. Either way, this has all been my personal experience with this stuff. Is there more for me to figure out within it?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is. It can get pretty complicated and confusing. Haha, awesome. Will I be sharing any of that with you?
No.
Nope, no way. This is all you get. Hope you can understand even just
Bye.
a bit of what I talked about. And if not,
Bye,
that's totally
bye.
fine. I just hope you can be nice.
Yeah, just
Thanks for
be
listening.
nice.
I never
Just
really
don't hate
intended
her.
on making this
She
video.
actually
because I
she actually
haven't
got a
really
lot
felt
of
a
backlash
strong
from this
urge
video
to-
because she's aromantic.
I don't like using this phrase.
What the heck? No. Arrow is sorry. I'm not trying to make fun of you, alright? Guys, I was actually only gonna watch this one, but as you can see, look at only a 20-minute video. I'm hella not doing that, bro. That's boring shit, bro. We're doing this one. I found out I had ADHD. I actually feel like I have ADHD. Oh my god, this ad is so good. No what? You make bread. You come. You dead. You dead. I love this. Pack on salad! Pack godly pack on salad! This is amazing. Use code pack god.
Do you ever think to yourself, man, why is it so hard?
I actually feel like I have ADHD. But no one believes me, alright? No, you're just lazy. You're just lazy. Like, alright, man. Like, what do you want me to do now? What, suddenly not have the feeling like I have ADHD? Like, what do you want me to do? I've checked and I have so many symptoms of it. Like, I don't even know what to tell you at this point.
For me to just do the things I need to do and
Oh
focus
my god!
and remember things.
I actually have to write. I have to read like my book, like 120 pages, which I hate reading, and I also have to write like 2 pages just explaining what it is. Dude, I have to do that in 5 days. No, man. Like, nah, man.
Manage my time
Texas
and be
too.
organized and remember things and not get sidetracked. Ha!
Iris.
Me neither. When I was a kid, I was pretty much the picture-perfect depiction of a good student. I was well-organized, always turned in my work on time, got
Yeah.
good grades. I even did my homework on Fridays instead of...
How? I actually have homework to do. How late is this? I'm dead.
procrastinating until Sunday night. Sure, I didn't like studying and found it hard to focus during it, but who didn't? Saying all those qualities put together, that doesn't sound like the brain of someone with any kind of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, does it? I was
Yeah.
well behaved, didn't feel like I struggled much in school, and didn't cause any trouble.
Nice.
That is, up until I moved out of my parents' house for the first time to go to college. Gradually,
Kulak.
I started slipping. I began skipping classes a bit when I just didn't feel
Oh,
like
no.
going. Would wait until the last moment to
Bad
start classwork
Jaiden,
and
no.
lost a lot
No, we can't allow this, Jaiden. You have to go to college, Jaiden.
of motivation because I wasn't interested in any of my
Yeah, bro, I have the same thing.
schoolwork. But overall, even though it was pretty out of character for me, I chalked it all up to the fact I was simply over going to school. At the same time, my YouTube was really kicking off,
The
and all I wanted to
burnout.
do was that. Of course, I
Will
wasn't gonna
be a
be as good of a student when the
burnout,
silly
baby.
YouTube videos were doing numbers. I
Guys, can we also get those subscribers, whatever
finished
that
a
play
single
button
year
was?
of college and convinced my parents to let me take a gap year to see where this YouTube thing can take me. Spoiler alert, the gap year turned into me never going back.
Stonks.
I'm a college dropout. So great, I've eliminated the boring school part of my life that weighs me down. Now I can go back to being
Jane, you just got my video. Like, bro, that was not needed. That YouTube, I am so mad at you.
Spoiler
I'm
alert,
going
the
to
gap year
show
turned into
this-
me never going back. I'm a college dropout.
Alright, now I'm just gonna leave this like here because YouTube pisses me off.
So great, I've eliminated the boring school part of my life that weighs me down. Now I can go back to being organized with my new exciting passion job, which entails being my own boss and having to manage an
Seriously, man. Dog!
assign myself all of my own responsibilities 24/7.
Nice.
Why are the voices not getting quieter? It's almost like
Said it.
everything was going backwards. I was having a
Return to monkey.
much harder time staying organized and focused. If I didn't want to do a certain type of work, I would have to shackle myself down and basically an isolation chamber to be able to get it done. If I found a new interest, it was all I could think about. And why is it so easy to
today?
suddenly be on your roof watching a YouTube video on how to know when you need new
How do
shingles?
you get on your roof?
I really didn't get it. Child me had it held together more than current me. What went wrong? I could look back and recognize how everything used to be so perfect and easy. Look at tiny Jaiden and all her ducks in that row. I used to color code every single binder I owned.
Color
I don't even know
code?
where I placed the 20 bucks I literally just had in my hand 3 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I haven't even left the room. Genuinely, where could it fucking go? Just despite feeling like I was downward spiraling for multiple years, I never suspected it could be something related to a genetic neurodevelopmental disorder.
It is. Get over it.
I just thought I wasn't trying hard enough and being lazy or
Nah,
applying
I'm
myself
good.
like I used to. Oh, the woes of turning into an adult, I suppose. Maybe the best years of your life truly are in high school.
No, they aren't.
How upsetting. I didn't even enjoy those either. But then one day I
Yeah.
got a text from my brother. I got diagnosed with ADHD. Huh. It was a pretty big surprise for me because growing up, he never really seemed to show any of the typical symptoms you associate with ADHD. You know, people would always describe ADHD to me as super hyper kids who would run around the room and scream and generally
what I
be a
do.
lot. That wasn't my brother. He was
That's
quiet and
me.
well behaved like I was. But when he started explaining his symptoms, the gears started turning. Yeah, I've always struggled a lot with focusing in school and
Same.
having things hold my
Same.
attention when it's boring. But like, I could hyperfixate on things I'm interested in and get really passionate about that stuff. Hearing him talk about his personal symptoms of ADHD made a lot of sense, and I felt very freshly educated on the topic. And you'd think that I would immediately start looking into getting a diagnosis for myself, because if you were paying attention, my brother's experiences all sounded very similar to the same struggles I've been having in my own life, but related to work instead of school, because I dropped out.
Whew. Alright, going back.
But nope, I was just like, good for you, bro. Happy for you. Or, I'm sorry, I don't know. Anyway, back to struggling to simply open up my drawing program as if 2 blocks of iron were welded to my wrists. Imbalance of brain chemicals? Nah, this just happens from time to time. It's normal. Just the laziness kicking in. I hate Mondays, am I right? Even though I didn't instantly think there was a possibility of me also having ADHD, the mental seed was planted. It's genetic, so I knew subconsciously it ran in the bloodline. It took a few years after my brother was diagnosed for me to really sit down with myself and consider that I, too, could have ADHD. Shocking revelation, I know. Foreshadowing, where did you come from? Things in the focus and productivity department were just getting worse and worse. I had the attention span of a cartoon dog, would completely forget things as soon as they entered my head, would hyperfixate on random stuff like an addict, and there was constant civil war happening inside my head.
What kind of addict? Kind of addict, Jaiden?
One thing done, even though
I don't. You never. Yo. No, I'm not even gonna. No. I think if you ever took one drug, you become an addict.
I knew it would only take like 15 minutes. You don't understand.
Well, she took ADHD medication with her medical drugs, so. Well,
Feels like physical torture to make myself sit down and lip sync a simple scene. Like most of the
lip syncing is so bad, bro.
time. You know, the thing I've been doing for 10 years at this point and am definitely used to doing. And yeah, once I've gotten going, then I'm honed in and you have to pry me away from it with a crowbar. I'm aware of that part. But nah, I'm still gonna scrap with myself to plant my ass in that chair because I don't...
Honestly, when I realize I'm kind of sick, you know?
I don't even know why at this point. The biggest thing holding me back from feeling like I had ADHD has always been the simple memory of being in school and having my shit together. I know what it feels like to be on top of things and to be organized. I had it all in the palm of my little child hand. I just needed to summon it again with a bit more effort. But a light switched off in my brain and suddenly I'm just not capable of the things I used to be, and it feels pathetic. Simple tasks are such a mental burden. It feels like I'm out of control but can't do anything about it. So finally, I figured I would try and get myself diagnosed. What did I have to lose? If anything, they just tell me, no, you don't have ADHD. Try a little harder and stop complaining. And yes, of course it took me like 8 months after deciding to get diagnosed to schedule the actual appointment. What did you expect? That's like the first checkmark box on the ADHD list. I started seeing a psychologist and he would ask the typical, do you have a hard time focusing? And I'd go, yeah, like this one time yesterday, and then he writes something down as I continue rambling on this.
Oh my god, my allergy is so bad, bro.
This hyper-specific example way too long for a neurotypical person. I met with him for a few weeks, and then it came down to diagnosis.
Oh no!
Nerves, man. I was so ready for him to say I'm a normal person who needs to suck it up. But instead, he was like,
won't say that.
okay, so yeah, you definitely exhibit symptoms of someone with the inattentive type of ADHD. And autism. Yippee! My struggles
And autism?
are justified. I'm not crazy. Wait, what was that last part? He explained all the different ways ADHD affects me and the different areas I struggle with compared to others. He even gave me a 37-page document of his conclusions and information on how my brain works, with graphs and pictures. I've read through it all a bunch of times now, and it's already really helped me understand how I tick. I call them the autism docs, but
The autism docs.
I'm not gonna get into that side of the diagnosis. Let's just brush that one away for now. There's a couple types of ADHD you can have: hyperactive, inattentive, and combined, which is both hyperactive and inattentive. Hyperactive is the type people typically go to when they think of a loud kid who can't sit still. People with this kind normally need to fidget, have low patience, tend to talk a lot, and have trouble staying seated, especially when they're expected to, like in a meeting or school. Inattentive is the one where someone experiences difficulty in focus, memory, organization, has a low attention span. That's the one I have. It's self-explanatory, but if you have the combined type of ADHD, then you got it all. ADHD jackpot right there, my friend. I brought up during the
I think that's what I have. I've like everything you just said. I literally have all the symptoms you literally just said. Drop a comment. Do you think I have ADHD? I think so.
Appointments that I used to be such a good kid in school with seemingly zero ADHD symptoms, and how that part has always confused me. And he had a couple hypotheses about it. One, since my mom has always been a big force
Oh my god! I actually recently started to play Undertale again. I remember that part.
Organizational influence, I was able to depend and
she literally even had the exact dialogue
on her for the majority of my school life for it. I felt like I was naturally capable of staying on top of things because she was right behind me the whole time, reminding me and guiding me through stuff. So when I moved out, everything started crumbling, which lines up pretty perfectly to when I did start struggling. Another explanation he gave was the fact that ADHD affects women differently than men, which is also less researched. Love to hear that.
Damn. A little bit of sexism in the scientist world there. Or maybe it's retarded. I'm not gonna judge.
That one. Not only do women tend to be able to mask their symptoms better than guys, so it goes much more unnoticed, but they also experience ADHD differently.
You are saying that people without ADHD are normal. What the heck, bro?
And research says there's a chance it can.
You saying people with ADHD are normal? That's what you're basically saying.
Start affecting women later in life. I'm no ADHD scientist though. That's just what I've been told by specialists. I don't know. I've just got the dang thing. Either way, those two explanations make a lot of sense to me and have since put my weird ADHD imposter syndrome to rest. I didn't really think that getting a diagnosis would change much about how I go about my life, but since getting my ADHD certificate and lollipop, it's completely revolutionized how I think and go about getting things.
My god, man.
Done. It's still hard to get my ass into gear when I need to do one normal thing that's not difficult, but I'm much less hard on myself and will strike almost like these kinds of mental deals.
That's Gravity Falls reference. I'm going insane. That's Gravity Falls reference. I love the show. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
To loophole myself into getting things done. Like, for example, if I really don't want to edit a video, I'll say to myself, okay, I know it's gonna be super hard for me to immediately start that task, so I'll get myself into the mindset
Do you guys hear that? Oh my god.
of getting things done by doing a simple other task I don't find difficult, like cleaning my room. That way, I'll feel productive and can transition that into tackling the original task much easier. It doesn't always work, but it's the mindset change and overall understanding that sometimes I'm gonna have to go about things in different ways that's helped me a lot. Also, after being diagnosed with ADHD, I didn't have much desire to get medicated. I figured just knowing I have it would be enough to get things into gear, and I didn't really need medication that badly. But the content creator in me also thought, well, if I'm gonna write a script about having ADHD, it would be nice to be able to talk about what it's like to be medicated, even just for a day. So I got prescribed good old classic instant release Adderall. Instant release means I don't have to take it every day. I can just take it when I need to get stuff done. It affects me immediately and then wears off after a few hours. There's also extended release, which is the kind you take every day and gives you a constant steady stream of medication. It wasn't until I had the Adderall in my hands when I realized the idea of taking it for the first time made me nervous. Like, what is this thing gonna do to me? I have so many friends with ADHD. Honestly, a higher ratio than friends without it. That's how it goes in content creation. All these MFs have it. They were all
even me. Probably
telling me that it's awesome, how you'll take it and immediately feel like a god, and you can do anything. It's incredible. And yeah, that sounds great, but also like, what the hell? What do you mean I take this little pill and suddenly all of my problems seemingly disappear and I gain superpowers? That's scary. That sounds like the thing every adult in a 20-mile radius warned us about when we were kids.
I mean, it is a drug, so technically that's a true statement.
Am I gonna feel like a completely different person? I don't know if I'm ready to experience immortality. I put off taking Adderall for so long because I was irrationally scared of the tiny blue pill, but coincidentally, I really needed to get a script done. If I take too long to write a video script, then the team runs out of work to do, and then I have a bunch of people sitting around and waiting for me to give them more work so they can pay their bills and survive and stuff. But for the freaking life of me, I just could not get myself to sit down and write that script. My body and soul found it mentally easier to backflip off a bridge than write words on the computer. After literally 2 months of my brain going, ooh, you better write that script. I won't let you enjoy a single moment of your life if you aren't writing that script. I don't wanna. Get up, go to the bridge. After that constant loop, I finally
she did stand.
Swallowed my fears and took my first Adderall. I had talked to James a lot about what Adderall is like since he's been on it for a few years now. And after I took one, I was messaging him like, I did it. I ate an Adderall. How long does it normally take to start? How do I know? What do I do? And he was helping me a lot and giving me tips. Then, like 20 minutes later, I felt it. All the
oh my god, that's such a satisfying sound with Discord notification.
Thoughts going on in my brain went silent. I could think clearly and in like a line. My mind wasn't racing a mile a minute. I was able to sit behind my laptop and write. It was incredible. I was messaging all my friends about it the entire time. I can write my script and not get distracted. I don't have to take a mental break every 10 minutes. I can remember things. Kelsey sent me a message and I thought, I'll check that in a bit. And I remembered to check it in a bit. And respond. When I opened a new tab to look something up, I didn't go down a random unrelated rabbit hole. I picked up my phone to check something and didn't impulsively scroll Twitter for an hour. I can write words so easily. How am I doing this? What do you mean I can feel like this whenever I want if I just eat the tiny blue pill? I refuse
refuse to believe regular people can function like this
No
on a
way.
day-to-day basis. No way. It wouldn't be
Yeah.
fair. You guys don't have loud, non-stop voices in your heads preventing you from doing normal things? Come on, just admit it. You can't pick something up and immediately keep remembering what you were supposed to be doing with it. You always forget and feel crazy. Come on. Come on. I was so suspicious that on Adderall, either nothing would happen and I just wouldn't feel anything, or I would feel like I'm a totally different person experiencing some higher than life manic episode. But no, I just felt like myself, but with my shit together.
Damn.
And that's the part I couldn't believe. After 2 months of war, I finally was able to plant myself down and write my damn script. You wanna know what script I wrote while experiencing Adderall for the first time? This one. I was struggling to write a script about ADHD, and the thing that finally pulled it out of me was Adderall. You gotta admit that's funny. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
I didn't think my head was loud before, or I was that impulsive, or had that hard of a time focusing. But now that I've been able to peacefully sit in one spot for hours and not need to take a break or check social media,
Hey,
or get distracted by some stupid tangent I don't actually care about, yeah.
Given to Mike Tyson.
Yeah, this changes things. I still can't believe what I was able to accomplish. Writing a script in 3 hours. Compared to my typical 12 hours. AKA one mediocre thing with no struggle at all. And you want to know what I did right after I wrote this script? I immediately got up and cleaned the birds' room. Without rotting in bed for 3 hours beforehand. I just went from one task to another. Without thinking about it. All you neurotypical people must be thinking I'm literally pathetic and useless, but I know my ADHD brethren are out of their chairs right now hearing that. I'm not standing before you all to give you scientific data and information on ADHD, or diagnose you, or even promote prescribed drugs. I'm just here to talk about a big and recent experience in my life, how much of an impact and effect it's had on me, and how awesome feeling normal is. Seriously, being able to-
that probably feels good, right? Feels good, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, I should probably shut it. Lucky you, man.
To take a deep breath in mental silence is incredible. Cherish that feeling if you don't have a neurodevelopmental disorder. It took me 26 years to realize my woes were not actually woes, but symptoms of brain chemical deficiency. I'm writing this video, all things considered, pretty recently after being diagnosed, and I'm still trying to learn how to rebuild my life in a way that lets me optimize my productivity and get things done at a normal level. But so far, I've come so much further than I thought I could simply by knowing what's going on up there in the old noodle. And Adderall. If you're on the fence about being diagnosed with something, I get it. It's scary. It's scary to think you might have it, and it's also scary to think you might not have it. It's an odd place to be. But for me, having a concrete answer from a professional is what got me to finally stop feeling stuck in place and actually start moving forward again. It's been great. I'm excited to keep learning more things about how my mind works and find new ways to improve my day-to-day life. Cheers to getting normal shit done.
In case you missed it, I have new merch for a limited time.
Miku, you can call me Miku. Blue hair, blue tie, hiding in your Wi-Fi. Open secrets, anyone can find me. Hey, your music, I dig from a motherfucking Miku. Miku, ooh, you, I'm thinking Miku. Miku, ooh, you, I'm thinking Miku. Miku, ooh, you, I'm thinking. Okay. There's spot the difference between these two. Alright. There's a lot of difference here. Eyes closed. Jaiden is not going as wild as this one, but look at the dress. There's a difference. Also, her clothing's not the same. How did I not realize that until just now? Damn. Alright, guys. I think that's gonna be it for today. I guess. See you at the next one! Bye! Miku!